Okay, take two. Yes, take two, because I screwed up. Stone Abroad, back again. It's been a while since I've seen y'all. Just wanted to make sure, as my mate reminded me this morning, to wish everyone out there a joyful winter holiday of choice. Whether that's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, any of a multitude. Personally, I'll be celebrating the solstice on the 21st. Go gadget pagan girl. But that means absolutely nothing. I have no idea where that came from. So as you may have noticed, we've been dipping a little bit already today, and I've got a bowl here ready to top up with y'all. So I'm just gonna light this and we'll get down to business, as they say. I'm hitting this pipe all funny because I cracked a little piece out of the bowl in the bottom and it needs a screen now, but I don't have a screen in it. So I'm sipping it pretty tenderly because I don't want Scooby snacks right now. Okay, anyway, so happy holidays, y'all. But I also wanted to talk about, because I've been having some issues here, and if you've been following me on social media, you may have noticed. It's not something I've discussed here yet, but it's something I've been doing for a very, very long time on the internet. I have been confirmed as I have a confirmed diagnosis of what they call double depression now. I have both major depressive disorder and what used to be called dysthymia and is now being called persistent depression disorder. What this means in effect is, like, so say everybody's mood is at a baseline, and because I have persistent depressive disorder, my baseline is a little bit lower than everybody else's. So I start a little lower to begin with, and then my moods, because I have major depressive disorder, will come from that lower level and suddenly drop even lower. And eventually come back up again. In my case, it usually lasts a couple of days, but that's just repetition that tells me that. I do take medication for my depression outside of the cannabis, but I find the cannabis is a really good, what they call overflow symptom handler. You hear people talk about overflow pain, where you're taking a certain amount of painkillers and you'll occasionally get a spike that comes, for instance, right through all of those painkillers. I find I have the same issue with depression sometimes, and one of the things I found is that a really good way to keep things a little more balanced, particularly through this time of year, which is always very difficult for me, as it is for a lot of people, is to use the cannabis to kind of keep boosting things back up when they get to levels that are, well, let's say levels that indicate a low quality of life. So I've been under a lot of stress over the past couple of years, and I have been in a very persistent depressive state for, I think, more than a year now. And I've been having a few major depressive incidents on top of that. One notably just about a week ago, I guess. Time is difficult right now. But one of the things I'm finding, basically keeps me out of trouble is keeping a little buzz going. Having to be careful because sativas, normally I get very energetic on sativas and I find it actually incredibly irritating. So what I usually do is mix some hybrids and we can manage to keep things from getting down to the basement, as it were. We prevent it from hitting rock bottom. Some you win, some you lose. My partner, Lee, he's amazing on every level, and he takes such good care of me. He deserves better than I can give him. But, so, he keeps an eye on me. I'm not currently under psychiatric care because, well, I was doing a program where I was working with, basically psychiatric interns. And, I was supposed to have another doctor assigned to me after that, I thought. But that somehow didn't happen, and I never got put, apparently, on the list for a permanent interview with someone, so I don't know what's going on there. And frankly, I'm not really in any state to deal with medical bureaucracy right now. Okay. So, the joke that I've been making since a few days ago with Lee is that, I'm just going to stay high till spring. That is the strategy. How ridiculous is that? How ridiculous is that? No, I'm trying to get my shit in order. It's just really a bad place right now. But I do what I can. And one of the things that I find I can do is take a bright, high euphorics cannabis and just give my mood little bumps along the day. Just to keep it from getting too rough. Just stoned enough to keep all the edges a little fuzzy. And with the tolerance level I'm running at right now, it's actually not very difficult to function on a buzz that actually manages to kill all my pain at the same time. So it actually helps me get stuff done, believe it or not. Is it ridiculous that I have to get stoned to do housework because I have to get stoned to do housework? I mean, I know some of you guys actually enjoy that shit when you're buzzed, but I'm just like, say, what was that? Because ain't none of that up in here. Anyway, so I'm coming back up. The 21st is coming on. And the solstice is always a turning point in not just my mood as the winter passes, although the early winter, the early of next year will hopefully, we shall see what we shall see. But what I wanted to say is that, this is what I do on the internet. I've been talking bluntly and openly about my life with depression for many, many years now on social media and on other things before that. I think my live journal is still out there. I really ought to go take a look at that. Yeah, and because I want people to understand what it's like living in a state like this. you know, most of the time it looks great. You know, people think, you know, there's nothing wrong, and, you know, what could be wrong with you? And then, like now, I reach a state where I basically am avoidant on leaving the house. The joke now is that I've become a full-blown otaku. But right now, I focus on getting through day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour. And if that means I stay a little buzzed for a little while, I'm not objectionable to that, but it's crazy expensive, let me tell you. Not sure how we're going to pay for this. You know, well, once again, quote my dear darling Diamond Dave, and say, you know, they tell you money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy a big motherfucking yacht that pull up right next door. It's fine with me. Yeah, there's so many things that you can fix when you can throw money at them, but we're fixed income, living on disability, which is part of what allows me to work as a painter. So, for everything you gain, there's something that is lost. So yeah, so I talk about what it's like being who I am, and sometimes that includes some fairly raw material. And I do want to assure everybody that, you know, safeguards are in place, simply because I'm aware of my condition, and that's something I have to plan for. Not just today, but my whole life. Which is where it becomes a disability. Because it's hard to find an employer who'll will not fire you for randomly not showing up for 4 days because you can't get out of bed. Doesn't happen like that. Not in the real world. Yeah, so if anyone got a little freaked out, I can apologize about that. I will not apologize about putting it on the internet or saying it on the internet, because I don't believe there's anything wrong with describing my disability. Would you, you know, are you telling me that, you know, there's something particularly wrong with my disability that isn't like other physical disabilities? Because that's what it is. Like, you know, why shouldn't I talk about my life and what it's like to live with serious depression? I want people to understand. I mean, that's something I've been saying for a very, very long time. I just want people to understand. So I think that's all I really needed to say right now, actually. We're having media problems. I now don't have an SD card for the tablet. Well, we're working on it piece by piece, and eventually I hope to get to a point where I can put out videos more regularly. It's just, right now, it's just a bit chaotic, but love to all of you. Shout out to Aaron for listening. Everybody else, you know, happy holidays, enjoy yourselves, hug your loved ones, and light a candle for the ones who aren't there anymore. Pour one out for the homies. Peaceful, y'all. Insert catchphrase here, though.